Captured in time is the very moment that Barb Davis changed her opinion from Darlie being guilty to Darlie being innocent.
It was at this moment that she knew she fucked up.
I thought it was Darren's sock.
We don't know
whose sock it was, but
Well, it was an adult-sized sock.
the state and the defense, their timeline does not allow it to be Darlie. So who put that sock down the alley?
Okay, first of all, there is no timeline. I've heard this and heard this and heard this. The timeline is a figment of someone's imagination. There's no timeline. She had all the time in the world to do these things. The time started running when she made the phone call. And that's when the timeline started.
What about the screen? All right, there was a screen cut through through an open window, and the screen was down and cut. And the prosecution, I believe, said it was cut from the inside.
Well, the way that it folded out, it folds outward like you would climb out, not inward like you would climb in.
And it was cut from a knife from Darlie's home.
Yes,
cut with a knife.
Not proven.
That was not proven. But it fits.
Hey, Barbara, we want to
take that bread knife out of the scenario. You take the bread knife out of the scenario, okay?
Completely.
This guy, just take it out.
Yeah.
If this guy has a serrated pocket knife, okay, he comes in, he cuts the screen, he has to hold the screen to cut it. He comes in, he puts his pocket knife in his pocket and gets another knife. He already has a knife. Why does he need? What is he going to take the time to put the knife away and get another knife?
And why is he going to come to to commit a murder and not bring his own weapon?
In the paper, after Darlie was convicted, a gentleman wrote an editorial. This gentleman and his wife, they were in their 70s, and they were talking about how they were in bed one night, and someone went around slicing the screens until they found a window that was open. They found a small window, climbed over that window, down over the sink, just like a snake, was rummaging through their drawers, and the detective told him it was probably to get a bigger knife. The man actually went in their bedroom, their TV was on, and he came within 2 feet of them, because that's where that man's wallet was. They never woke up. And you know what? He said, thank God I didn't, or I might be where Darlie Lynn is at right now, because I live 5 miles from them.
And it happened March the 28th or March the 29th before.
Right.
You all have to understand, though, this case was tried on the facts of this case, not on Mr. Jones down the street. It was on these facts.
Why would a woman who had no history of mental illness, no history of drug use that I know of, no history of abusing her children or affairs that were substantiated in the marriage, etc., suddenly snap and become a psychotic maniac capable of killing her kids?
She didn't kill 2 out of 3. The human mind is a strange thing, and their witness as to the wounds, Dr. DeMaio, he said, desperate people do desperate things.
So something.
I believe that she was probably very, very sick, mentally sick.
But
if you believe that,
I think she's been sick a long time, Sorelda. I think that your whole family lives in a beautiful world of total denial.
Susie.
I wanted her to be innocent. I wanted her to not have done that. I loved y'all. I thought y'all were a great family.
Questions and tested her
But
like any prosecutor. She had no idea.
You just wait till we get on that stand. We're going to set the record straight. You were on it.
After she was found guilty.
You were on the stand, though. Y'all never told anything other than she was a good mother.
But then we don't. What do you want us to make it up?
You'd have had to, I guess.
Oh, right. Excuse me.
More of this if you so choose, and also the community. The early news reports were very supportive, a lot of love and outpouring towards this family. But when they found out that Darlie was a suspect and the family still believed in her innocence, they turned on the family, and your support may have done her more harm than good. We'll be right back. It was her job. Barbara was her job. Barbara was her job. Barbara was there the whole time.
I've seen them.
I don't know if the audience heard. I didn't hear. Was there a polygraph?
Yes, there was.
Yes.
And
Well,
they knew it, and she failed.
No, she
She did not fail it. I know what you said. I know what she said when she failed it. She failed it.
She did not.
I have
You
one
wanna
more
know
question.
something?
You know what?
My question
you can
is,
get sued for that
when
one.
was her throat cut?
Good. The question is, when was her throat slashed?
You can be sued for that. I'm not concerned. I thought she said I'm not bothered. But after Sirota looked at her and said, you can be sued for that, Barb Davis changed her mind. All of a sudden, Darlie was innocent.
Family, and your support may have done her more harm than good.
If you listen to some of this stuff that they say on here, like they're saying that they didn't know whose sock that was in 1998, 2 years after the trial. But Darren testified that it was his sock.
Family, and your support may have done her more harm than good.
So how are they saying they don't know? And in this, Darlie Key says she doesn't think that the police concocted a story on Darlie.
Family, and your support may have done her more harm than good.
But Barb Davis did not change her mind. She was so convinced. She wrote Precious Angels, which is very damning, the evidence that she comes up with. But when Sirota turned to her right here and said, you could be sued for that, that changed her mind. Quickly. A year after this, Barb Davis's son, Troy, was shot and killed by the North Ridgefield police as they came to his house on a drug raid, and he pulled a gun on him. They found marijuana and GHB, I believe the drug was, and Barb Davis was convicted of that.
Family, and your support may have done her more harm than good.
People who stand up for Darlie.